Hi, my name is Albert, and I am the developer and inventor of the Project Management Process Accelerator, an AI-enabled business process tool that takes your project team's requirements from project charter to development-ready work items in minutes and not months. And today I want to talk about some of the benefits of using the PMPA tool versus just a chatbot integration that a lot of the project teams that I work with have been using or have been trying to use, and really focus on the benefits of the PMPA tool. So let's take a look at that now. And the first thing I really want to focus on is ease of use. Yes, I wrote this, I developed it, so I have a lot to say to toot my own horn. But really, let's talk about how the product teams are trying to use chatbots. So they are opening up a chatbot. They're trying to develop some relationship history, some chat history with it. They're feeding it some background information, or they're keeping a chat history open about their product history, some information that builds a context window. And not all context windows are infinite, depending on the LLM, the model that you're using. So they're trying to give it some background information to create some relevance. And then they're feeding in their requirements, and their requirements are structured in their project tool. So they've got features and some user stories, project charters, they've got project entities. So how do you take those structures that are in your project management tool, feed them into your chatbot so that you get structured items out, and then tell your chatbot, oh, by the way, here's how everything's structured, here's how I'm going to feed it to you, and then here's how I want you to get it out. Oh, and then there's a link to my technical design document over in SharePoint or Confluence, or here's a document. So it becomes very clumsy and very difficult. And if you're a product developer, you're a product lead, and you're trying to feed this in every single time, it's just very clumsy, and you're prone to mistake, and you've got to start over and start the chat over, or your chatbot client gets updated, there's a system update. It's just a real pain. So the PMPA tool really is a very simple one button press go type of tool. You log in, you go to the workflow that you want. I want to create features, I want to create user stories. You select your project, you select the project ID, the issue ID, and then you just say create all of the user stories, and it just does it. So it understands, it ingests, it analyzes, it has the guiding prompt optimized behind the scenes. It understands and analyzes the Jira entities and the custom fields. It does all of that behind the scenes for you. You don't have to rebuild that relationship with your chatbot every single time. So the frustration that a product team has to put in an hour's worth of work, mistakes, it's just all done with one button press. So ease of use is a big selling point for your product leaders, and especially for product leaders who may not be AI savvy, or maybe AI adverse. Pushing a single button is definitely a great sell for them. The next area is really nice to talk about is security. So I have another video, and we have some other sections here on the webpage that talks about the security. But there's really two types of security elements that we could talk about, and that's the malicious AI injection. So somehow an AI prompt injection gets put in there, delete all AI issues, modify all AI issues, do something really bad. And then there's also the AI doesn't exactly know what it's doing, and it modifies things in projects it shouldn't, that your user has access to, that your chatbot has access to, in projects that maybe that shouldn't be modifying, creating orphan issues, transitioning issues, modifying fields that it shouldn't. And there's no record. There's no audit trail when you have AI chatbot directly integrated or through some sort of MCP connector. So the PMPA really put some very strict conditionals around that. It really puts a walled garden around how it can connect to Jira, sets what project your user can connect to. It can only create issues. It can only modify very specific custom fields. It can't delete anything. It can't delete the fields. It can only modify specific custom fields that are set up. So it puts a very, very tight constraint on what it can do, and everything's audited. There's an audit trail. There's a history. It's stored in a database. You have access to it. The users who execute it can see it happening in real time. You can go back and figure out what happened, and then if there's a bug, we can figure it out together. What happened, and we can unroll it. In Jira, there is no undelete unless you've paid for a very expensive, very fancy undelete. Most people, 99% of the users that I work with, have no undelete. So it's very, very important that your AI chatbot doesn't randomly delete things in Jira, because you'll never get them back. So that really talks about the traceability element of that. But let me just hang a light on it a little bit more. When you talk to your security focal, when you talk to your business leaders, when you talk to your legal department, you can't do a safety review on an AI chatbot that is just given all your same permissions into Jira or into your project management tool. There's just no accountability. There's no record set of what's happened. The PMPA tool is fully auditable. It's fully accountable. You can see exactly what it's done. You can see exactly as it's doing it. There's an administrative function, so the administrator can see what's happening as well as the individual. So that's a great tool, and it's a great standpoint, and it's very constrained. So the final point to talk about here is really preventing any sort of AI runaway. Again, AI is very early in its development here, and there are possibilities that AI could run away. It could run away on a single generation. You could ask it to do something, and it could get in some sort of loop. I recently saw a demonstration about someone asking an AI, what is the best seahorse emoji? And it seemed to go into an infinite loop for quite a long time. So we want to prevent that. So the PMP tool has some safeguards about how many loops it can go into, how many times it can do certain things, how many issues it can create, how many cycles it can go into before it stops. So we're not going to create infinite number of subtasks, user stories. It will stop at some point, and then you can figure out what went wrong. So that's one type of runaway. The second type of runaway is where your user creates some entity, some content using AI, legitimate content. So I've got a project charter, and I'm creating some epic features. Those epic features, they look good. Maybe there's some questionable content in there, and I just hit the next button. Let's just create some user stories. Let's create some subtasks. Let's create some test plans. Well, the PMPA tool has some quality and safety checks in it that says, well, I've noticed that you've created AI content and you haven't reviewed it. So I'm not going to let you create more AI generated content until you reviewed it. So it's looking for some review activity. It's looking for a review flag and a review name before you can go on and create more AI content. And so that's very important to prevent that type of AI runaway, because if you're regurgitating bad content, whether it's bad from a quality standpoint, it's not what you want to be generating, or it's bad from some sort of safety standpoint that you don't want to be regenerating. Our system has quality checks and safety checks in there before you can run it that prevents that sort of runaway. So the PMPA tool has these constraints built into it that I've put into place because I find that's very important to get tools like this past your legal, compliance, and security team that have the best intent in mind to give you tools that accelerate your teams, but have the correct safety guards in place, that have that correct visibility and traceability in place, with the vision of protecting the employees, protecting the companies, protecting the customers and the outputs, but without stopping the progress, without holding the progress back too much. So I still believe that this can take, and the evidence shows we can get you from your business requirements to development ready work items within minutes and not months, and still have all of these safety guards in place. So I hope that helps you in the discussion and helps you get excited about the PMPA tool, helps you understand some of the challenges out there in the industry using chatbots directly in your project management tool. And I hope that helps you have a great day. So thank you and take care.